Our next example, the chain rule. As you look at this problem, you see there's a lot of stuff going on here. We've got trig functions, we've got regular expressions in there. This does, of course, represent our angle. So we're going to see all kinds of different things going on here. In my first step, I just rewrote it. I have this cosine to the fifth. I wrote it as a traditional power, a traditional exponent, and that will be where I start. I'm going to do 5 times 11, which produces my 55. My set of parentheses raised to the fourth. So that was just the power rule being invoked there. 5 times 11 was 55. Cosine the angle raised to the fourth power. Then I have to come inside these parentheses and ask, can I take a derivative of what's in the parenthesis? First, I would start with the cosine. The derivative of cosine is negative sine the angle. And then I look at the angle and say, well, can I take a derivative of that? Well, this angle actually has a power to it, so I have to start with 3 times the angle raised to the second power. And then I go within that, and I find that the derivative of 4x squared is going to be 8x. So here we see where we had 1, 2, 3 links in our chain. Because we start with this parenthesis, we had a power, then we had the trig function, then we had the angle. So we had so much to go on with that. And of course, we can combine some like terms here. So I'll move this up. What I did here, I took the 55, I multiplied by the 8x and by the 3, that gave, and the negative from this, and it gave me negative 1,320x, 4x squared minus 5 raised to the second. Again, I stated in a previous video, I don't like any expressions following my trig functions. My trig functions I like to be written at the very last part of my expression. That way I don't confuse the angle with anything extra. So again, I took the 55, the 3, the 8x, the negative, put that all in the front. Got negative 1,320x, 4x squared minus 5 squared. That's all part of that, which was not part of the trig function. Cosine the angle raised to the third degree, sine the angle raised to the third degree. And notice that that cosine was to the fourth power. Pretty big example there, but that's what we want to do. We want to master the chain rule.